Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayan Namaskritya Naram Chaya Naram Tamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayati Nashtaprayi Yodreiti Nityam Bhagavata Seva Bhagavati Uttam Loki Bhakti Bhagavati Nekati. So continuing with the discussion on the Chaitanya Bhagavat by Srila Vrindavan Thakur, Chapter 8, Disappearance of Jagannath Mishra, Adikanda, Chapter 8, Text 20. So, Nimai's sacred thread ceremony was taking place. Jai Jai Shri Vaman Rupa Gaura Chandra Dan Deha Hriday To Marapad Dvandva. All glories to Shri Gaura Chandra, who accepted the form of Lord Vaman. Please donate your lotus feet in charity to my heart. Means please donate your lotus feet in charity. So I can always think of you and just surrender to you. यीशु ने प्रभुर यज्ञ सूत्रेर ग्रहण शेफाए चैतन्य चंद्राचार्य शरण. Whoever hears the topics of the Lord, accepting a Brahman thread, certainly attains the shelter of Sri Chaitanya's lotus feet. Henamate Vaikuntha Nayak Shachigare Vedera Niguda Nana Mata Krirakare. In this way, the Lord of Vaikuntha enjoyed in the house of Shachi various pastimes that are unknown to the Vedas. So they are so confidential. Sri God Narayan is the Lord of Vaikuntha. So he is a genius in all the scriptures and the source of the opulence of knowledge. Nevertheless, acting like an ordinary person, he rejected the foolish considerations of the material scholars and glorified the expert considerations of learned devotees by manifesting a desire to study grammar, just as Krishna studied under Sandipni Muni. So he wanted to study grammar. That's what even Sarvam Bhattacharya, when Mahaprabhu met him in Jagannath Puri, he said, "You just learned grammar? That's it? Didn't study scriptures?" He was surprised. But Nimai, even though he was student of grammar and later on became a teacher of grammar only, but he knew everything, all the essence of all the scriptures. Ghare sarva shastra budhi asamita. Goshi Maje Prabhu Padite Tailachita. After properly understanding the meanings of the scriptures at home, the Lord desired to study in the company of his associates. Navadvipe Achi Adhyapak Shiromani Ganga Das Pandit Jehina Sandipani. In Navadvip there resided the topmost teacher, Gangadas Pandit, who was non-different from Sandipni Muni. So Sandipni Muni, under whom Krishna and Balaram studied in Ujjain, he came as Gangadas Pandit. A description of Sandipni Muni is found in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, and in the Vishnu Purana. Sandipni Muni was a resident of Avanti and belonged to the dynasty of Kashyap Muni. In 64 days, Sri Balaram and Sri Krishna learned from him the Upanishads, the Vedas, the Dhanurveda, Dharma Shastras, Mimamsa, Tarka Vidya, the 6 types of politics, and the 64 arts and sciences. In Krishna book, all these 64 arts and sciences are mentioned, lists are there. After mastering all the arts and sciences, they requested Sandipni Muni to accept some Guru Dakshina. After consulting his wife, Sandipni Muni expressed his desire for the return of his son, who had drowned in the ocean at Prabhas Kshetra. Balram and Krishna immediately went to the shore of the ocean. After they heard from the mouth of the ocean deity that their Guru's son had been kidnapped by a demon in the shape of a conch shell named Panchajan, Lord Krishna killed the demon and accepted the Panchajanya conch made from the demon's bones. But not finding the Guru's son there, Krishna and Balram went to Yamraja's kingdom named Samyam and blew the conch shell. When Yamaraj heard the sound of the conch, he came out and after properly worshipping Krishna and Balram, he returned the Guru's son. Shri Balram and Shri Krishna accepted the Guru's son and returned him to his. So why this kind of strange Guru Dakshina? Sandipni Muni asked for Krishna and Balram because before they went to Avanti or Ujjain, they had brought back because Devaki and Vasudeva, they were in the prison and the six sons were killed by Kamsa before Balramji was transferred to the womb of Rohini and then Krishna was born. And when they were released by Krishna and Balram, Devaki and Vasudeva, and Kamsa was killed. So then Devaki said, I never even got a chance to feed my sons milk of my breast. Bring them. Then Krishna and Balram brought the six brothers. So they drank the breast milk of Devaki because Krishna had drank the breast milk of Devaki earlier, so that milk became Shadam. So these six boys, after drinking milk, they went back to Vaikuntha. Then this story was popular. So that's why Sandipni Muni's wife, she said, well, if they can bring six sons of Devaki, they can bring my son also. So then Krishna and Balram, first they went to Prabhashetra and from there to Yampuri. And in the process, he also got his Panchajanya Shank. So many pastimes. So Avanti is in Ujjain, Prabhashetra is in Gujarat. So quite far away, but still they went to serve their good. व्याकरण शास्त्र एकांत तत्व वेद तार ठाई पढ़िते प्रभुर संहिता samihita. He was in full knowledge of the grammatical literatures. So the Lord desired to study under him. So Gangadas Pandit, he was teacher of grammar. Buji lena putrera ingita mishravara putra sange gela Gangadas dvijagha. Understanding the desire of his son, Jagannath Mishra took him to the house of Brahman Gangadas. Mishra dekhi Gangadas sambhrame utila, alingana kari ek asane vasila. When they arrived, Gangadas stood up out of respect and embraced Sri Mishra. They then sat together on an asana. Mishra bole putra ami dilo Thomas thane, padai bashu naiba sakal apane. Jagannath Mishra said, I am offering you my son. Please teach him everything. Gangadas bole bada bhagya se amar, padai padai nu yat shakti achaye amar. Gangadas replied, it's my great fortune. I'll teach him to the best of my ability. शिष्य देखी परम आनंदे गंगादास पुत्र प्राय करिया रखिला निज पास. Gangadas was most happy to see his new student and he treated him like his own son. Yet व्याख्या गंगादास पंडित करेन सकृत सुनीले मात्र ठाकुर धरेन. After hearing only once, the Lord would assimilate whatever Gangadas Pandit explained. गुरुर यतेक व्याख्या करेन खंडन पुनर्बार से व्याख्या करेन स्थापन. He would refute the explanations of his guru and then again establish the explanation that he had just refuted. So explanation, Sanskrit is a difficult or different language. Every word can have a different meaning according to the realization of the person who's reading it. So every word, and then if we look at a shloka or a mantra, then it can have a completely different meaning from somebody else. But that meaning, now it has to be established based on the based on the context or based on some other rules. So Nimai would refute the explanations of his guru based on whatever the meaning, and then he would establish the explanations that his guru had just established. Amazing. Sahasra Sahasra Shishya Padayat Jan Hena Karo Shakti Nahi Dare Dushan. There were thousands of students, but no one had the ability to defeat his explanations. देखिए अद्भुत बुद्धि गुरु हर्षिता सर्व शिष्य श्रेष्ठ करी करीला पूजिता. Gangadas was pleased to see Nimai's wonderful intelligence and he accepted him as his best student. यत पढ़े गंगादास पंडित तेरे स्थान सवरई ठाकुर चले न नुकसान. The Lord would regularly challenge and defeat all of Gangadas Pandit's other students. So they would have some discussion in the class, and Nimai would challenge everybody and defeat them, all the students in the class, even elder students also. Shri Murari Gupta, Shri Kamala Kanta Naam, Krishnananda Adi Yat Goshtir Pradhan. Shri Murari Gupta, Shri Kamala Kant, and Shri Krishnananda were some of the Lord's prominent classmates. Shri Murari Gupta is the composer of the Sanskrit book Chaitanya Charita. And later on it became Chaitanya Mangal, which Lochan Das Thakur wrote based on Murari Gupta's Kadacha. It's called Kadacha, means the accounts he had kept, or the notes he had kept of Nimai's past. He was born in Srihata in the family of a doctor, and later he came to reside in Navadvip, where he became a student of Gangadas Pandit. Nimai's debate with the elder Murari is described in Adikanda, chapter 10, means so 2 chapters later. And Murari's happiness upon seeing the Lord's devotion symptoms born from feelings of separation from Krishna after his return from Gaya, described in the Madhyakanda. The Lord's manifestation of his Varaha form at Murari's house is described in Madhyakanda. And after hearing God and Nityananda glorify each other, Murari smiles and jokes. Murari is taking part in Lord's Kirtans at the house of Srivas as described in Madhyakanda. At the time of Lord's Mahaprakash, Murari lost consciousness and later cried in love and offered prayers to the Lord. The Lord responded by glorifying his servant Murari. Murari's participation in water sports with other devotees is found in Madhyakanda. On the night the Lord danced in the dress of Mahalakshmi, Haridas and Murari, dressed as constables, introduced the Lord's drama. So that Leela, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested at the house of Chandrasekhar. Yeah, I think it's the house of Chandrasekhar. So there's a drama enacted over there, and the Lord dressed as Mahalakshmi, and he acted as Mahalakshmi. And when he came as Mahalakshmi, in the audience there were all these devotees were there, and they could not recognize him. He looks just like Mahalakshmi. They could not recognize it. It's Nimai himself. One day at the house of Srivas Pandit, Murari Gupta saw Gaura and Nityanand seated together. Murari first offered obeisances to Gaura and then to Nityanand. The Lord, however, was displeased and said to Murari, "You have transgressed etiquette while offering obeisances." That very night in a dream, the Lord taught Murari the glories of Nityananda. The next morning, Murari first offered obeisances to Nityananda and then to Gaura. Seeing this, the Lord was pleased and he gave Murari the remnants of his chewed betel. By accepting those remnants, Murari's intelligence was purified and he received love of God. So the Lord, in a dream, told him the position of Lord Nityananda. He is Balram Ji, he is elder to me. So first you offer obeisances to him, then to me. But obviously, when we go to the temple, we see God Nitai, we just pay one obeisances. But in our mind, we should always think of first we have uh, paying obeisances to Nityananda Prabhu and then to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Once in the mood of the Supreme Controller, the Lord spoke in anger to Murari Gupta about the impersonalist Prakashananda of Kashi. Thereafter, the Lord glorified the eternal truth regarding his names, forms, qualities, and pastimes. The Lord blessed Murari, who thereafter offered rice with ghee to the Lord. The next morning, the Lord came to Murari for treating the symptoms of indigestion that he exhibited due to eating heavy foods. Thereafter, the Lord exhibited his pastime of being cured by drinking water from Murari's water pot. Now, Murari Gupta, he, he was born in the family of doctors and he was also a doctor. He was a Chikitsak, Ayurvedic doctor. Although now the doctors are considered very highly respected and they have lots of money. So, not all, but many of them. But at that time, according to Varnashram, because doctors don't come under Brahman, they're not Kshatriya, they're not Vaishya, so they come under Shudra category. So people would kind of like, okay, as a doctor he's okay, but otherwise, either Shudra or he would come under Vaishya, somewhere there. So Brahmins would like stay away. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, first of all, he saw Murari Gupta's devotion. Actually, Murari Gupta is Hanumanji. So his devotion, his service attitude. So Mahaprabhu himself went to his house and said, "My stomach is upset because I ate something heavy." Because Mahaprabhu is just performing pastime. So he drank directly from Murari's water pot just to show to the world nobody is uh, low or high for me. My devotees are always dear to me. On another day, when the Lord manifested his four-armed form in the house of Shrivas, Murari took the role of Garuda and carried the Lord on his shoulders. Considering that separation from the Lord after his disappearance would be unbearable, Murari decided to give up his body while the Lord was still present. The Lord, who is the super soul of everyone, checked Murari from carrying out this plan. These and other pastimes are described in Madhyakanda, chapter 20th. So we'll discuss more when we get there. Pastimes of Murari and other devotees chanting at night with the Lord through the streets of Navadvip, and Murari and other devotees crying in happiness on seeing the Lord bring water at the house of Sridhar, the Khola Vijay Sridhar, another place where Mahaprabhu drank water from, his part. After the Lord took sannyas and came to the house of Advaita Acharya, Kachi, along with Murari and other devotees, went there to meet him. So after taking sannyas, Lord came to the house of Advaita Acharya in Shantipur, and from there he went to Jagannath Puri. One day, on the order of the Lord, Murari Gupta recited 8 verses in glorification of Lord Ramchandra. The Lord then blessed him. Actually, Mahaprabhu asked Murari Gupta to chant the names of Krishna because Murari Gupta was always chanting the names of Ram. He is Hanumanji himself. So next day, when Mahaprabhu met him, Murari Gupta fell at his feet, crying. He said, I just didn't want to disobey your orders, but I could not chant the names of Krishna. I can only chant the names of Ram. And Mahaprabhu was very pleased with him. He said, actually, you are a servant of Lord Ram. And he awarded the name Ramdas to Murari, and he wrote on in his forehead, Ramdas, eternal Hanumanji. But see, Hanumanji, he is in the past tense of Lord Ram. But then in another expansion, he is in the past tense of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. Murari's meeting with the Lord's South India traveling companion, Karl Krishnadas, Kala Krishna, when he visits Navadvip, is found in Chaitanya Charitamrita. His chanting during the Rath Yatra festival is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. His meeting with Sanatan Goswami is mentioned, and Murari's meeting with Jagdananda is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, very close and wonderful associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sabare chale Prabhu, funky jigya siya, shishu gyane keha kichu nambuleha siya. The Lord challenged and defeated them all, even the elder boys. But they would consider the Lord just as a child and simply smile at him, even if they were defeated. यही मत प्रतिदिन पढ़ी यशुनी गंगा स्नाने chale निज वायसी अलैया. After school, the Lord regularly went with his friends to bathe in Ganga. पढ़ जार अंत नाही नवद्वीप पूरे पढ़ी यह मध्यान्ह सबे गंगा स्नान करे. In Navadvip, there were innumerable students, and they all took bath in Ganga at midday. So this was their regular pastime. Every day they would take bath in Ganga. Okay, I guess we can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Jai Jai
Krishna.
Prabhupada.
Yes.